Every day, most of us need to come down to the streets. To go out for workplaces, to get necessary resources, and for many other reasons. And we need to return back to our home every time. Not only to our home, it is advantageous to return to a particular place which may vary repeatedly. The same holds also for most of the other animals. Returning to a specially restricted place which is previously known to an animal either by direct experience or by indirect acquired knowledge, be this home, the nest, or any other refuge, a food collecting site, or a mating site, is broadly referred as home. How do animals find out their way back home or to some other places where they intend to reach? What makes some animals better in finding a place? How do animals navigate to an intended place? How do they perform homing?
Navigation is a special attribute. It poses lots of special challenges. You need to know where you are in relation to home if you want to get back home. If you're an aircraft, you can rely on external sensors such as GPS satellite information. But if you're a living creature, there's very little external information available to you. You have the sun that you can use as a compass, but the sun is moving around all the time in the sky. So it's a challenge to calibrate that. Also, to know how far away you moved from home. That's the other big challenge. To do odometry is another challenge. All these things are being done by animals because they all have a homing instinct, right? And the question is, how do they do that?
Hello, I am Shouvik Mandal from Indian Institute of Science, and these broadly are the questions I am trying to find out through my Ph.D. For my study, an ideal animal would be that one which frequently perform homing. Many animals can be found together to study, which are available throughout the year, which can be found very easily, and it would be great if the animal has a simpler neural setup so that the basic requirements for homing can be investigated. Now many animal groups fulfill this criteria, but one animal group suits the most.
Social insects, because they're
expert navigators. A lot of them are. Some of them have faced this problem daily because they have to return to their nest. They have little brains and they use smart, cheap mechanisms for finding their way home. And if we could unravel those mechanisms that help us design autonomously navigating vehicles.
Because insects are fascinating creatures to study basic problems of visual processing and navigation.
And they're small and tractable and much cheaper to study usually than bigger animals like birds and mammals. And what's more, they face all the fundamental questions in life that we face.
When I ventured in this field, I found that there is a handsome amount of knowledge exists on ants and honeybees, but very less from wasps. I started working on a tropical eusocial paper wasp, Rhopalidia marginata, thinking that my work might be helpful to bridge the knowledge gap which is necessary to have a complete understanding of insect homing. It's a tropical paper wasp found very easily in and around Bangalore, and actually my field site is my institute campus. It's a social wasp, that means many wasps live together in a form of a colony, and so I got many foragers for my experiment each day. It is active throughout the year, that means I have not to wait for a particular field season. And a huge knowledge base acquired by my PhD supervisor about this species is available, and which is a great bonus for any animal you want to do your research on. Now, before starting any other sophisticated experiment, I had to know the extent of their homing range. I released forager wasps in increasing distances in east, west, north and south, and watched that from how far they can return back to their nest. And it was fascinating to find out that these tiny wasps, measuring around 1.5 cm in body length, can return back even from about 1.5 km away from their nest. And the Times of India also found this finding interesting enough to publish. I carried out many other experiments then after, but just to summarize all my findings in a single sentence, wasps are not fools, and there are lots that can be learned from them. Hope to get a chance to discuss all my work in details at the Science Slam. Bye.